Chairperson Henderson, thanks for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Kate Coventry. I'm the Deputy Director of Legislative Strategy at the DC Fiscal Policy Institute. DCFPI is a nonprofit that shapes racially just tax, budget, and policy decisions by centering Black and Brown communities in our research and analysis, community partnerships, and advocacy efforts to advance an anti-racist, equitable future. DCFPI thanks Mayor Bowser and the Council for fully funding the permanent supportive housing asks made by the Way Home campaign, the campaign to end chronic homelessness in the FY 2023 budget. Combined with funding in the FY 2022 budget, these investments will dramatically improve the lives of 2,800 individuals experiencing homelessness. However, the Mayor's administration is undermining these improvements by continuing the policies of encampment eviction and creation of no camping zones. With these new resources, the district should focus on what works. Housing first, without timelines that are unreasonable and without threats of displacement. DCFPI is here today to ask the district to end encampment clearings and no camping zones and address shortcomings in the shelter system that lead to encampments. We are also asking the council to request a detailed budget on encampment clearings from HHS to improve transparency and adequate evaluation of clearings. Prior to 2015, the district did not clear encampments except in rare circumstances for health and safety. This was in keeping with national best practice and research. The U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness argues that encampment clearings are not an appropriate solution or strategy, accomplishes nothing towards the goal of linking people to permanent housing opportunities, and can make it difficult to provide such lasting solutions for people who've been sleeping and living in encampments. USACH also maintains that clearing encampments can undermine the goal of moving individuals into housing, as it can interrupt relationships with outreach workers, create distrust, making it less likely that an individual will accept an offer of housing. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development finds that continuous sweeps cause encampment residents to focus on meeting short-term needs, unsettling the stability needed to engage in the planning needed to move into housing. Additionally, outreach workers reported to HUD that residents lose ID, legal documents, and medications. In a survey, health providers reported that insurance companies will often not replace this lost medication or will only do so after extensive advocacy. As a result, patients go without medication for extended periods of time, up to months for some. Healthcare providers also reported that it leads to the loss of critical mobility equipment, such as walkers, and makes it difficult to find patients for follow-up care. Encampment clearings may also result in long-term traumatic, psychological, and emotional harm for individuals who are not moved into housing. For all these reasons, the district should end all encampment clearings. If the district is not willing to do this outright, it should very least do it through the end of the public health emergency. The CDC recommends that if housing is not available, government should allow people to continue to live in encampments. Most do not receive housing and end up being displaced and moved to another encampment. And the U.S. Park Service acknowledged that some of the problems at McPherson were caused by the individuals moving there after the Scott Circle encampment was cleared and the area was fenced off. So the district should address shortcomings in the shelter system that lead to encampments. Encampments are no one's first choice for housing. As described in a HUD report on encampments, decisions about where to stay represent pragmatic choices about the best alternatives. Encampments form in response to the absence of other desirable options for shelter. While the district has made some strides in improving, much is left to do. There's several shortcomings identified to HUD, particularly that DC shelters lead to separation from partners, family members, or friends if people are not of the same gender. DC shelters do not allow pets, and DC shelters restrict the number of belongings to just 2 bags. Imagine only having 2 bags to store all the things that you need for your life. HUD also identified other shortcomings, including personal safety, safety of belongings, worry about exposures to germs and disease. So I'm here to ask the council to ask the Deputy Mayor of Health and Human Services to report on the encampment clearing budget. This has not been done since 2017. We request that this budget include both total costs per encampment clearing since 2020 and the number of individuals cleared at each encampment. Understanding the cost is critical to evaluating encampment clearings, especially as costs are generally high. One national study from HUD found a huge range in the cost of clearing encampments from $1,080 to $6,208 per person, not including the cost of housing for these individuals. In just one quarter in FY 2016, DMHHS spent $172,000 for one small encampment clearing. Absent transparency, council input, a specific budget for this program, We are concerned that funding this could be expensive and in turn cause other budget shortfalls. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Eric?